Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight in and decoding 10 absolutely remarkable ancient drinks pulled directly from historical and scriptural texts. Now, these aren't just poetic metaphors we're talking about, they are highly effective preparations. And the fascinating part is that modern science is literally just now catching up to them. So let's take a look at what modern labs are finding hidden inside these ancient cups.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Right now, people routinely drop $40 on these trendy, manufactured health drinks that didn't even exist a decade ago. But we really need to compare that to these incredibly cheap, totally accessible ancient ingredients that have survived hundreds of generations. These recipes were refined in brutal conditions over thousands of years until absolutely only what actually worked survived. And that forces us to ask a really fascinating question. Why is modern science just now confirming what 4,000-year-old texts already knew? There's this massive gap between what we're aggressively sold today and these culturally significant texts that have literally been sitting on scientifically validated remedies this entire time. Whether you look at these texts as historical documents or cultural cornerstones, they recorded some incredibly careful, consistent observations of human biology that our modern laboratories are only just beginning to explain.
All right, moving into Section 1, Digestion and Inflammation Relief. We're looking at the science of cumin, ginger, and honey.
Our very first ingredient might actually be the biggest surprise of all. It's something you probably walk right past in the grocery store spice aisle without a second thought. Cumin. In the text of Matthew 23, Jesus explicitly calls out the religious leaders for carefully measuring and tithing their mint, dill, and cumin down to the very last seed. What that tells us historically is that cumin wasn't just some worthless weed. You don't portion out a strict tenth of something that has no value, right? It was a genuinely precious, highly valued medicinal spice used across the Middle East, India, and North Africa for well over 4,000 years. Yeah. What's really interesting about this slide is that modern researchers are finding the specific physiological mechanisms proving this ancient instinct was incredibly sound. When the ancient world instinctively drank warm cumin water for digestive distress, they were actually leveraging naturally occurring compounds that demonstrate real antimicrobial activity against bacteria and fungi. Clinical studies show it supports blood sugar regulation, boosts digestive enzyme activity to ease bloating, and nutritionally, just a tiny amount, less than a teaspoon, gives you roughly 20% of your daily dietary iron. They didn't know the molecular biology, sure, but they absolutely knew the results.
Next up, we've got the anti-inflammatory fire drink made of ginger and honey. Literally every ancient civilization that encountered ginger independently arrived at this exact remedy for pain, infection, and inflammation. Here's how it works. You simmer fresh ginger for 15 to 20 minutes, strain it, and let it cool slightly before adding raw honey. And notice a running theme we're going to see here. Preparation completely matters. You must never, ever boil raw honey, or you'll completely destroy the naturally occurring healing compounds inside it. Moving right along to Section 2, Energy and Cellular Longevity, Fueling Armies and Preserving the Body.
There's this brilliant historical account in 1 Samuel about a young Egyptian soldier who was completely exhausted, abandoned in a field, and basically left for dead. He hadn't eaten or had a single drop of water in 3 days. The text says that after he was given a specific ancient food combination, quote, when he had eaten, his spirit came again. Now, that isn't just poetic phrasing. It's a literal description of a man being revived at a cellular level. So the food they gave him was dates. But the ancient world rarely ate dates all by themselves. They paired them with almonds and water, effectively creating an early almond milk. Let's break down the actual science of this ancient energy synergy. The dates provide natural glucose for immediate energy, but by blending them into almond milk, you introduce fats, magnesium, and protein. This totally moderates the energy release, which prevents that awful blood sugar crash. The almond milk acts as an incredibly fast delivery vehicle, getting those vital nutrients straight into the system without a heavy digestion barrier. It's just smooth, sustained cellular fuel. Then we have barley water. You know the biblical feeding of the 5,000? Well, those were barley loaves. Barley was famously the grain of the poor, the everyday food of common laborers. But when you boiled it in water, it functioned as elite medicine. See, boiling the whole barley dissolves a really potent soluble fiber called beta-glucan directly into the water. This fiber is so heavily researched for heart health and cholesterol reduction that the FDA actually allows direct health claims on it. It forms a gel in your gut, slowing glucose absorption and selectively feeding good bacteria. So the grain of the poor was truly the medicine of the wise. And of course, we absolutely can't talk about ancient longevity without looking at the vine. Ancient people fiercely protected the grape harvest because of what it did for the human body. And modern longevity science is just now discovering that fresh, dark grape juice, specifically when it's pressed with the skins completely intact, is a massive powerhouse for cellular repair. Those skins are packed with resveratrol and antioxidants that modern researchers are studying heavily right now for their ability to activate cellular repair proteins, support arterial elasticity, and dramatically lower inflammation markers.
All right, Section 3, Immune System Guardians. We're talking olive leaf, frankincense, and pomegranate.
So the crucial point here is how absolutely amazing it is that these ancient traditions line up perfectly with what we now know about modern pharmacological compounds. Olive leaf tea provides oleuropein, which is amazing for antiviral interference. Frankincense water delivers AKBA, a specific boswellic acid that inhibits key inflammation enzymes. And pomegranate juice offers unique antioxidants for cardiovascular defense and blood pressure. They didn't have microscopes to actually see these compounds, but their application of them was medically flawless. Let's zero in on the olive tree for a second. It appears over 500 times in Scripture. 500. Now, in the modern world, we are completely obsessed with olive oil. But when illness struck ancient communities in the Mediterranean, healers didn't reach for the oil. They specifically reached for the leaves. They steeped olive leaves to create this very earthy, bitter tea. And modern research on these leaves shows they possessed incredibly potent antiviral properties, actively interfering with a virus's ability to replicate and enter healthy cells. And then consider frankincense. We usually think of the Magi bringing gifts to the stable as, purely symbolic. But frankincense was a carefully selected, deliberate medicine. To extract its water-soluble anti-inflammatory compounds, you can't just burn it or boil it. It requires a very specific cold steep. You put a pea-sized piece of food-grade resin in cold water for a minimum of 8 hours overnight. That slow, cold extraction captures the exact boswellic acids that modern science is studying right now for inflammatory diseases.
Okay, on to Section 4, the ultimate cleansing tonics, raw honey and the king's herb.
You've likely heard that famous biblical phrase describing a land flowing with milk and honey. Well, we usually assume that's just poetic emphasis. Actually, it was highlighting a total medical marvel. Raw honey dissolved in warm water was the original antimicrobial tonic of the ancient world. When raw honey is diluted, it enzymatically produces hydrogen peroxide. It has a naturally low pH that just destroys pathogens, and it contains defensin 1, which is a B protein currently being studied for fighting antibiotic-resistant bacteria. It's so surprisingly stable and powerful that 3,000-year-old honey found in Egyptian tombs is still perfectly edible today. Crazy, right?
But that raises a really fascinating question. If honey was the daily protector, what did ancient kings reach for when they needed the ultimate cleansing? When standard ceremonial water just wasn't enough to purify them, what was the most powerful botanical they could possibly summon?
Well, King David actually answers this directly. Following a moment of profound moral and spiritual crisis, he is seeking extreme, absolute purification. He writes, "Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow." Hyssop is a plant present at almost every major ancient purification event recorded, going from the very first Passover all the way to the crucifixion.
And this brilliantly illustrates how ancient wisdom overlaps with modern science. For centuries, historians just thought hyssop was a ceremonial prop. But when modern researchers analyzed the plant, they found it is absolutely packed with carvitrol and thymol. These are powerful volatile plant oils that fight off microbes. Even better, they act as strong expectorants, meaning they physically help the body break up and clear mucus from the lungs. So this ceremonial ritual was actually a massive, scientifically validated mechanism for respiratory and viral recovery. But getting all those benefits required a highly specific, kind of counterintuitive preparation. Ancient people figured out through generations of careful observation that heat destroys hyssop's delicate volatile compounds. So instead of making a hot tea, they mandated an 8-hour cold steep. Only after that long cold extraction could you gently warm the liquid and add your raw honey and lemon. They didn't have clinical trials, but their observational science was flawless.
Finally, Section 5, the crucial quality distinction, why processing actually matters.
Quality and processing matter way more than we realize. We have to clearly contrast modern processed goods with ancient raw materials. If you put heavily processed, store-bought honey into boiling hot water, you are basically just drinking dead sugar water. Heating honey past 40 degrees Celsius destroys the enzymes and degrades the proteins. However, raw, unfiltered honey stirred into gently warm water, that is an enzymatically active medicine. The unheated raw approach, keeping things as close to their natural source as possible, is where the immense health value has always been. Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. In our modern rush to replace the ancient with the manufactured, what other 4,000-year-old healing wisdom are we quietly leaving on the shelf? These texts aren't just history. They are a profound living library of human survival and wellness. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I truly hope it inspires you to look a little closer at the incredible ancient wisdom hiding right in plain sight.